What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about Port Adelaide's leadership group and what the future may hold for the club in terms of what the next captain will be, or who the next captain will be, I should say, and what the leadership group will look like in 2024. There's a lot of talking points about this. There's a lot of key personnel that have put their hand up from the outside media to make their point across. Internally, they're probably definitely already discussing this factor and will be announced during pre-season, which will kick off in a couple of weeks' time, and we'll see the boys getting back at it. But today I just really wanted to dive in to see if there are any candidates that truly stand out for the captain and for the leadership group position. And I'll give you my thoughts on who my 4 players will be to be the leadership group and obviously the captain of Port Adelaide in 2024. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below as well, so make sure as you go along, you let me know what your leadership group should look like in the coming season. And let's get straight into it. Let's talk Port Adelaide's leadership group for 2024. It's something that has definitely been playing on the minds of Port Adelaide fans throughout 2023, who the next captain will be. With Tom Jonas retiring, Ollie Wines as the vice-captain has been captain for majority of 2023, with Tom Jonas not being in the side. We've had the leadership group of just the 3, with Tom Jonas, Ollie Wines and Darcy Byrne-Jones. Not the strongest leadership group, I might add. They didn't change anything coming into this year, and I think they had a feeling that whilst they'll name 3, there's definitely there's a subcategory underneath that which will highlight who is next in line to take over in those roles. And there's definitely a few candidates in my mind. We'll start with the key man, the one that is painted to be the captain in 2024, and that is Connor Rozee. We know he's been taking some training sessions. He's been a real natural leader of this club. He speaks so well in the media. He really stands up on game day. He's both on and off the field as a captain. He definitely looks the part as well. As we said, he speaks well, represents himself well. He seems he has all the natural attributes to be a captain and a leader of this club. We know young leaders can have a tough time dealing with that pressure. We know that Boak was named captain in 2013, and he was only 25 years old. It was a young captain who was put on him, and look what happened. He ended up being a great captain for the next 5 years. Look at Gavin Wanganeen, who was a similar player as well, who was a captain and was told to lead a group of men into action. And some players are made for that, and some players aren't. And with leadership, you want someone standing out from the rest, whether it's with their voice or with their actions. And leading their team into a strong position. Connor Rozee is the standout candidate for that. If you want to dive into the future and believe that and make him the present and be the face of Port Adelaide, it's a beautiful face as well. So if you're going to pick someone, definitely Connor Rozee. Ollie Wines is the next one that's I'm going to mention here. Has been a vice captain, was a co-captain, back to a vice captain, captain of Port Adelaide throughout 2023 with Tom Jonas out of the side. Has led well. I think obviously he speaks naturally. He's well represented. He's got his problems with his form, but that can be worked on in terms of playing him in the natural position. But he leads with his actions, and every time he does make a point or makes a stand, he is there. He's the one that can really showcase that natural leadership, and I think he has that in him. We've always questioned whether or not he can be that man, that Port Adelaide man. He was painted as that a few years ago, was a vice captain, won a Brownlow medal. So I think in that aspect, Ollie has a case, and I think he has a strong case. What gives me the hint that he might be the front runner here is the promotion for 2024 with memberships, calendars and everything like that. He is the face. He's been represented as that on all the key promotional aspects of the club. So whether the club's given the hint that, okay, if there's going to be a man, Ollie Wines is the one. Let's make him the face come into next year, and we'll paint that picture. But obviously Connor Rozee is on there as well. So I think, you could make an argument for both cases. But Ollie, for me, if Ollie was picked as captain, I'm not arguing against it, because I think leadership should stand out separately from your form. And he still does the hard work on game day and at training. So definitely wouldn't be against that. A couple other ones I wanted to mention. Now, I don't think they'll be captain, but I think they're worth noting. Zach Butters has been painted by some media gurus as being a captain, and I think they are right. I personally wouldn't go down the road because I think his natural form and his natural attributes and the way he goes about himself, and again, that representation on field is second to none. He leads by example with his form and with the way he goes about his football and goes at the footy, puts his body on the line. He's just a well-drilled unit, and just makes sure that he's always first to the ball, and if he's not, he's always making sure he's tackling hard and really representing himself. With his words and with the way he can talk and stuff. Obviously, we don't know what he's like internally. He's definitely a positive, bubbly character, and we see that. And I think in tangent with Connor Rozee would work really, really well. I'm not saying they should be co-captains, but I think as a captain, vice-captain combo, they're the two that stand out. They're our future. They're the present now, aren't they? So I think in that space, he's definitely someone that could be a left field captain option. Definitely someone that should be in the leadership group, but just say to him, your leadership is based on your performance and how you go and you stand up in big moments, and they have that killer instinct. When you have that instinct to go after it, I think that's Zach Butters. I don't think he'd be captain, but definitely part of the leadership group. And, that's the same for Sam Powell-Pepper. I wanted to mention his name as well. His on-field, presentation and the ways he goes about his footy. He's tough, he's hard at his nails, he gets in there, he's a team lifter, he works so hard, second, third, fourth, fifth efforts. He's countless actions on the field stand out from the rest as a leader. I just don't think naturally, with he's a naturally born leader, but leadership can come in so many ways, and that's why for me, you don't judge someone on their form purely as a leader. You judge them on how they represent themselves and what the impact they have on their teammates. Because a captain and a vice captain, PR-wise, is a good choice for a club, but your captain has to be mainly represented by the people they're playing with. So if the club's decision is from what the players want, who they want leading, who they get their most motivation from, and the coaches agree with that, then I think first and foremost, internally, that is what matters most. Outside, our opinion and our arguments as such don't really matter. We're not on the field. We're not on the inner sanctum. We're not in there every single day, and we don't see what happens, and we're not led by these players. So having an opinion of it, yes, but I think overall, as a leadership group and as a playing group, that is the most important thing. What the effect they have on the players. And how they represent themselves on the field. On and off the field is two different things, and I look forward to seeing what the decision they make, because there's plenty of players on that list I think that can stand up in moments that matter. Dan Houston is another option. Charlie Dixon has a good leadership following and a positive impact on this club. So I just think if you're going to have a leader, you're going to have someone that is both great off the field as they are on it, and that's purely based on what they can do with this club and taking it forward next year and beyond. Let me know your comments below, Port fans, on this topic, and see what you think about the leadership group come next year. If I'm picking a leadership group, I think there's 4 that should be in there next year. I think Connor Rozee as captain, Ollie Wines as vice-captain, Sam Powell-Pepper and Zach Butters. And you could have a 5th with Dan Houston as well, but I think those are the 4 that are in your leadership group. They are leading this club to bigger and better things next year, and we just hope that whoever is captain next year is holding the cup with Ken, because it won't matter who captain is on the day. If they're holding a cup with Ken, I think we'll be okay. So let's just hope we get there first. But anyway, it's a decision to be made. I look forward to seeing what comes of it with this pre-season and the announcement to come as well, because the choices are going to be quite interesting. One of the more intriguing captain's decisions, I think, to come for Port Adelaide, and that's why this is such an interesting topic, because there are options, but not ones that stand out most like others have in previous times. So we'll see how it all goes. But thank you very much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new for plenty more Port Adelaide and AFL content to come your way. My name is Anthony, and as always, come the pair.